Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to In the Works with Alex and Cameron. So today, Cameron's with us here. I'll bring him up in a minute, but we're going to talk about the difference between what the Parawerx POS system is and kind of what other payment things have come out from other projects. I know there's been some other things that have come out, and people have been like, well, what's the difference? So we're going to go over some of those. And then we're also going to talk about the staking stuff that's come out the last few days and kind of the, I guess, big uproar that we've been having in the space the last few days. So let's bring Cameron in. We'll chat for a few minutes, let everybody kind of funnel in, and then we will get started. Cameron, sir, how are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good. It's been a crazy few days in crypto, and we'll talk about that as well today. Now that that's come up, it's going to give us something else to talk about today as well. But it's been pretty interesting the last few days, what's coming out, what people are saying, and kind of getting a little worried about it as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of fear. But I put out a message to the community the other day just saying we've been talking about this for a while. We've been prepared for it. So as of right now, keep in mind it's just speculation, right? I mean, what we saw specifically was a SEC charge the owners, the company that is Kraken. And so I went through, we haven't made any public statements, but we can talk about this. My analysis, I mean, I'm not an attorney or anything like that, but my analysis of why they went after Kraken and what makes, Para different and what makes, I think, a lot of staking different than what Kraken was doing.
Yeah. And it's pretty, I've watched a lot of videos and read a lot of articles and, the reason behind it of why they went after Kraken. And, it's pretty interesting as to why, most of it's, I think a lot of it's disclosures and not fully telling people what the huge risk was and stuff like that. But, we kind of want to go over anything that Cameron wants to talk about as far as, Para versus, Kraken type of stuff.
Yeah. I'm just pulling something up. Okay, so I know you read my thoughts on this because I put it in
your analysis.
Yeah,
yeah,
I did my analysis, but the main thing that stood out to me when reading the response from the SEC is they were not saying staking. The terms that they were using were staking as a service, and then they said crypto intermediaries. And this is assuming because they're a centralized exchange, right? The crypto is being sent to them. They were taking and creating a big pool of investor money and then using this and investing it on behalf of them and then paying out these rewards, which the SEC did have problems with because they're saying they were promising upwards of 20%, which is not feasible. The market can't support it. It's a complete BS claim, right?
Yeah.
But if you are taking investors' money, creating a mutual fund, going and investing it on behalf of those people, and then promising, a rate of return, this right here, that's the problem. That's really the problem. So it's staking as a service and creating like a mutual fund, creating a security. That's very different than like what we're doing at Para and what others are doing.
Yeah. And really, some other people talked about there's no guarantee that Kraken was actually going to pay people out either. And that was another issue they were having was they could just choose more or less to just not pay out the rewards. So that was also obviously is a huge issue. And, with Para staking, as you stake your tokens and there's no promised amount really, you're getting whatever percentage of the staking pool as a whole, but you're not guaranteeing you're going to get 20%, right? So huge differences between the two. And that's what we want people to understand.
Yeah, we don't make any claims or say you will get this with the APY or whatever. I mean, we have it set up very differently. And with our staking, it's a true staking platform or it's a smart contract is really what it is, right?
Yeah.
That people can interact with. And so the smart contract, if you're the only person in there, then you get all the rewards, right? But it's a fixed amount. Right now it's set at 4 million a day. So 4 million a day, and this is para, not US dollars, but 4 million para in the staking gets distributed, and everybody has a little piece of that pie depending on your multipliers and your time lock and your total tokens staked. But you're not sending us the money. You're not sending us your para. We can't take it from you. We can't withhold it from you. We have no access. We are not, like, so the SEC was talking about the investors were losing control. They lost control over their funds.
Yeah.
You have control over your funds. Matter of fact, the only person that could remove the tokens from the staking contract, the smart contract, is you. So, you are temporarily transferring control, meaning physical holdings of your para, to the smart contract, but that's not us. We don't have it. We don't own it. We have the ability to call certain functions on the contract, and every other person has the ability to call limited functions on the contract as well. Like you don't even need our website. If you have the contract address for the staking platform, you can go to Etherscan, connect a wallet, stake, unstake, claim rewards. Like, you don't even need us. It's just out there. It's available, and
it's easier.
And all that.
It's easier to go through the staking platform.
It's also public. You can see the reward wallet. You can see the staking, the transactions, everything there. And that was another thing is not only were they creating a pool of investor money, investing it on behalf of these people, paying out what would be dividends, because dividends are defined as something that was earned because of the efforts of other people, right? So all of these things, there's a test. It's a 4-pillar test called the Howey test, and this is how you kind of determine if it's a security or whatever. And then if it's a security, you're paying out a dividend. So, I mean, this was clearly an issue that Kraken is doing. With our smart contract, someone is just, they take their knowledge of the blockchain and interacting with smart contracts. They, buy their crypto, stake it. You don't even have to lock it up. It can be a 0-time lock or whatever you want. You don't have to buy multipliers, but you can. Everything's in your control, and that makes it very different. It's open, public, honest. It's just not the same thing. We're talking apples and oranges.
Yeah, and another big thing you talked about was the protection aspect of it as well. Literally taking the money from the investors and them having literally no control, like you said, over it anymore. Which para, like you said, I'm the only one that can take my tokens out. So that's a form of protection, right? Para does not have the ability to take those from you. So just that was one of the issues they had with Kraken, was protecting the investors with the money that they're giving them. So, there's a lot of different things that they were doing that para is not doing.
The wording was really interesting. when you look at a document like this, like, it was a public statement, but it was also the foundation for their legal argument, right? And so there was every couple words, there was something that had to be addressed, because they would say Kraken touted an easy to use platform. Well, so why is that significant? It's significant because when you're looking at, are these people investors or holders, or what are we classifying them? If they're investors, are you just doing business? Because if you're just doing business with well-educated investors, right, that actually the bar is higher on what you have to do, right? Because these people are experienced investors, and they can do their own due diligence, and they know how, compared to a retail investor that maybe has no idea and just got duped because it's such an easy platform. Oh, I send my money here and I hit stake and I'm making 20% annually, right? Yeah. The thing that I wanted to point out too is, we've never made the claim that, interacting with our platform or interacting with the smart contract is easy. I actually think that getting someone onboarded into interacting with the decentralized smart contracts is it takes quite a lot of savvy, you know. I mean, it is not, you can't just get up and all right, I'm now in DeFi. It's days of learning and transferring funds and understanding this and understanding that. And then, you know, yeah, we have a website where you can go and it makes it, I don't know, it calls the functions for you. It makes it look prettier, but ultimately, I think it takes a pretty savvy person to work in the decentralized, you know, on chain, so to speak.
Yeah, it doesn't make it super easy. Like I said earlier, it makes it easier because, like you said, you can go to Etherscan and do it without the staking website, right? So it just eases the toughness of it, I guess, you know, for investors. But yeah, DeFi is extremely hard. I still help family members and friends all the time that don't do it every day like I do, navigate through and make transactions and things like that. Because if you do it wrong, or, you know, you can really mess up. So, absolutely. You know, the funny thing is, I don't know, this is funny, but the timing of it is just coincidental and crazy. Is I don't think some type of oversight from staking is a bad thing, because there is a lot of bad actors out there. And I had a friend that got scammed recently from a staking website, about $1,000 worth of tokens. And then this happened. This started happening. And so I don't think some sort of oversight is a bad thing, because having to, you know who you're investing with is huge. And there's a lot of really, really good scams out there that, you know, they make it look really good. And so it's not hard to get scammed, even with seasoned people that have been doing it for a year or two. So like I said, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Now, how much, that's the concern I think we all have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, we want it to be a safe space for people to come in and engage with and all that. You know, I don't know. I have a different opinion on levels and how much regulation and this and that, whatever. But listen, that doesn't mean that we at Para. I mean, realistically, I just want to say, I think that having this position of like, we're in the space, we care about it more than regulators do. We want crypto and DeFi to excel and exceed and thrive more than they do. So the steps that we're taking, you know, I was looking at what the chairman, Gensler, I think his name, of the SEC, what he was recommending. And even though, as far as I'm concerned, we are not, like I said, apples and oranges. We're not doing that. As far as what we get to see, or what we show, as far as the disclosures and everything being public and not being in control of the funds sent, you know, being put in here, not investing on behalf of holders and all of this stuff, right? That it's very clear that you know, we're going above and beyond, and I think that we are totally in compliance with what he would want to be seeing from a staking platform. Again, like I said, apples and oranges, we're not playing the same game. But if we were, I think we'd be in the clear. One other thing is, we've been working on this compliance platform. It's on a roadmap. You know, we've now been talking about it as a central hub, like a dashboard or a hub for the whole Para ecosystem. But this is, you know, we had a meeting the other day. If we needed to move on this and roll this out, we could do so very, very quickly. So we have it here. It's just timing, and do we want to do it? And there's some challenges, but the thing is the reason why we haven't just pulled the trigger to get it done is because we don't. It's just speculation. We don't know what they need yet, right? Do we have to do this? You know, would it mean a KYC for the US, or would it mean some sort of global document verification? We can do either one, right? Or we can leave it how it is right now and not do anything, right? Because I don't think we need to. But they need to tell us what they need, and then we'll make the move. But we're ready for it.
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest part is, you know, as much as we think we might be compliant and ready to go, they might bring something out of left field, and we might not, and we have to do something different. You know, so we don't want everybody to think that we are going to be fine. We think we are. We're trying to do everything that we can to make sure we are, but until like Cameron said, they come out and actually tell us what they want, because they just haven't ever done that. Whether it's anything regulation for crypto or staking, they just haven't come out and said this is what we require. And until that happens, it's all up in the air, and so it's just.
Well, you're 100% right, because what they didn't do with this Kraken and the staking, what they didn't do is come out and make a new rule for decentralized crypto staking like what we have. What we saw is that they took the actions that Kraken was doing and they said, this is a very common thing. You've created a mutual fund and you're not registered, right? So it's not a new rule. It's the old game played with the old rules. We've just seen that this is so yeah, this isn't a new thing. No. It's not new. They said, hey, you fall under these old rules because of how you're conducting things. So like I said, I don't think that there's any steps that we have to take right now, other than we are looking at some options that maybe we could do things a little bit better. Or I don't know. I pitched a couple ideas. We're talking about it, but anyway, I think we're good.
Yeah. And I think the hardest thing that a lot of people probably thought, including myself, was, you see staking being illegal, staking. And is it all staking? Is it exchanges that they're going after right now? Is it going to be the same rules for the DeFi part as the exchanges? Are they going to do it separate? But a lot of people just saw the word staking and illegal, or making it illegal, or whatever the case is, and so we're all assuming that it's going to be everything, and we have no idea. Are we going to fall under the exchange rules that they're going to create, or are they going to do separate? So that's another, and that brings a lot of fear on. It's just the fact that we just don't know.
Well, the quote is staking as a service, right? Meaning that you're paying people were paying Kraken to take their money and invest it or stake it on their behalf.
Yeah.
That's the issue. So it's not staking as an option, right? It's staking as a service, meaning a paid service that Kraken was offering to people. Yeah. And as a service, meaning that you weren't staking yourself, right? You were not doing the staking. And that's why I think it's like I said, apples and oranges. But yeah, I mean, time will tell. But the thing is, I just want people to know, we may not know exactly the rules that they're going to bring forward, but we have a very good idea of what that is likely to be. And we're ready to make the pivot and adjustment and say, okay, all right, this is what they need. Let's go that way. But like I said, as of right now, I don't think it's anything.
Yeah. And they're supposed to announce something big yesterday. And I didn't hear anything that was, different than what we had been talking about or hearing. Mm-hmm. So, was there actually going to be a big announcement yesterday or not? Did they just not figure out what they wanted to do? Who knows? But I have a feeling that we'll either hear something soon or it'll just kind of start to fade away again,
Well, and I wonder too how much of this is sending a message, because there's a statement. Let me read it for you guys. It says, okay, so it says, in case after case, we've seen the consequences when individuals and businesses tout and offer crypto investments outside of the protections provided by the federal securities laws. Investors lack the disclosures they deserve and are harmed when they don't receive them. Today, we take another step in protecting retail investors by shutting down this unregistered crypto staking program, through which Kraken was not only offering investors outsized returns untethered to any economic realities, but also retained the right to not pay them any returns at all. All the while, it provided them zero insight, among other things, to its financial condition and whether or not it had the means to pay the marketed returns in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, so to me, that is... they're trying to prevent Luna 2.0, right? Yes. Because Luna was doing the same BS and it collapsed, right? So when they see someone else is saying, oh, staking at 20% and come in, whatever. Listen, it's not, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. There's no way, unless you have some major VC or venture capitalist or some firm willing to just run a massive loss leader program to get you in the door for some other service, like there's no way to guarantee 20% as an annual return. No way.
Yep. Well, and the other problem too, like Gensler said, was disclosing the risk, right? We're Americans. We take risk. You can take as many risks as you want, as long as you understand the possible outcome of that risk. So if you disclose that, hey, I might get 20%, but they're saying that I might not get anything either. Okay, well, I'm going to invest my money anyway. And now I understand that I might not even get paid out anything. But if they're not disclosing that information, then it's misleading. Somebody could put a bunch of money in and they don't know. They're thinking they're guaranteed to get this return. And that's mostly what they're saying. The problem is they're not disclosing these things.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the most important parts of this whole thing, was just disclosing all the risks and having to be very in line and having everything outlined of what could possibly happen to those investors. And that's where they went wrong. I don't think that's all of it. I think that's a good portion of it, but they could have easily changed that. I think there was definitely more going on than that, because, legal department could have easily, brought something out, but I think that was one of the biggest things.
Yeah. And they paid for it. It was
$30 million.
Yeah. They made an example out of them, and big slap on the wrist. I mean, no jail time or anything like that from what I understand, but big slap on the wrist, and made an example, and, made some waves. And I think that was the point, was to send a message to these other centralized exchanges or other people. I mean, there's other crypto projects, but that's the beauty of decentralized, smart contracts and using the blockchain and everything.
Yep.
Right. The whole point is to remove the human aspect. The people that love Bitcoin love it because you can't take it from me. You can't steal it. I mean, unless you scam me, unless you, like straight up steal it, you can't confiscate it. You can't, you can't rug it. That's the whole point. So it's just like the same thing with FTX or any of this stuff. A lot of problems deal with centralized exchanges.
Yep.
Right. Because it's not on chain. If it's not on chain, it's not your money.
Yep. Not your keys, not your crypto. And we've talked about this before on this stream. And other streams I've been on, we've talked about a lot of the issues that we've been having the last 6 months have been centralized problems and not decentralized problems. So it just comes back around to where is the real problem. And that's where the federal government's looking. They're looking in that direction, right? They're not targeting the decentralized and the DeFi portion of it. They're looking at the real problem, which I think is good. And they're finding problems and they're correcting them. And, it's taken a while. I know I heard that they've been working on something like this for months, 8 to 10 months. They've been working on this stuff. But also, like you said, it really puts the spotlight on other exchanges as far as like, look, we know what could possibly be going on. So, and we know how it works, and you guys need to fix it. Right. Yeah. And if anybody else is doing sort of the same thing, they might want to think twice about, doing that.
If I can make a prediction, highlight Banker's next comment. This right here, and Banker, I don't know if you've got something else in mind, but what this is talking about to me, your question about the burn tokens, I think that this is the SEC's next big move, which is wash transactions.
Yeah.
Okay. Wash transactions, meaning fake volume, fake buyers, fake things like a burn, right? But you're just taking unpurchased, uncirculating tokens and deleting them. Guess what? They weren't part of the equation anyways. So, I think a true burn where you have tokens that are being sent to a dead wallet or deleted from supply, but they were purchased. Maybe it's part of the built-in tokenomics. I don't see why that would be a problem at all. I don't see why the SEC or why that would be a problem. The issue is when you're burning tokens that weren't purchased, because then it doesn't affect anything, and it doesn't look fraudulent. It is fraudulent. Also, these exchanges, these centralized exchanges, some of them, I mean, like 99%, I'm telling you, this is crazy, and this is going to be a big thing. Some of these exchanges, over 90% of their transactions are wash transactions. You have to pay to have a bot to create artificial volume on the platform. You have to pay to make sure that it looks like there's trading where something's being bought and something's being sold and blah, 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 blah. You have to pay for this. It's not real. And even platforms like Binance, some of the estimates are maybe upwards of 40% of transactions are that way. And that's Binance, one of the bigger ones. You look at something like, what's that one that closed down? Was it Hotbit?
Yeah.
You look at something like Hotbit, over 90% of their transactions are likely to be wash transactions for an exchange. I'm telling you, that's a big no-no. We're going to see some heads roll, I think, for that stuff.
Well, we're going to see, we've talked about before what exchanges are going to be left at the end, right? At the end, I'm saying at the end of unregulation, because a lot of these smaller exchanges are doing stuff like that. And, who's going to survive and actually be a centralized exchange when that time comes?
Yeah. The real ones. I mean, real ones. And you know what? Let people do arbitrage, real arbitrage. There couldn't be a better thing for a token, in my opinion. And same for an exchange. Why people don't allow real arbitrage to take place, I don't understand it. You just let the free market do its thing. If you can go and buy, let's say you could get on Bybit and buy Para at 10 cents cheaper, right? Spend $100, you go and you convert it, you sell it on Uniswap. Okay, you made a couple dollars, right? There's a little bit of incentive in there, cool. But eventually it balances out. Then if there's another imbalance, someone's going to take advantage, maybe they make a few bucks, cool, right? Then it's not fake. It's not fake volume, it's not fake transactions, it's, but they hate arbitrage. They don't want arbitrage, and it's probably because they want stuff to be on the platform. I don't know. It's crazy, but I think if someone came out and made created an exchange where you could do arbitrage and it wasn't fake and whatever, I don't know, man, they would probably do really well.
Yeah. I agree. And, I always thought arbitrage was a terrible thing. And then you and I talked about it. You explained it a little bit differently than I was thinking. I'm like, okay, yeah, that kind of does make sense.
I think it's great. And then, and between chain, like if you had a bridge, and if you had like a Binance token and an Ethereum token and whatever, and to have arbitrage between those two, I mean, you don't have people, everyone works off of incentives, right? So if one gets out of whack, you're now creating, there's a built-in, incentive to keep the prices the same, because anytime that they're not the same, someone gets to make a profit off of it, which is great. It's great for everyone. So this is interesting though. So the SEC may want to tax the burns. I don't know. Let me think about that. You're not ever it depends on if it's in the contract itself, because you never realize those gains. I don't see how you could be taxed on something that you don't ever realize. And I think that they would just look at this and say, what are the overall capital gains, or losses, and is it short term and is it long term? So, I mean, I would be surprised, and it would create quite the headache if you had to go through and calculate not only your capital gains, but your burns.
That would be difficult.
That you never even get. You don't get it. You're not allowed to. I mean, could you, you don't get taxed on the taxes you pay. This is a tax that you'd pay. I don't know. That seems
just on cash outs. I think it works.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just cash outs. I mean, well, it depends on how you're talking about cash outs. Like, I'm not just centralized exchanges to your bank account. Anytime you convert a currency, right? If you're converting even Para to ETH or ETH to Para, all of those individual transactions, that's something that they're going to look at.
Yeah,
So,
which makes it a lot more difficult. Right now, you're looking at just, what you buy into, say, Coinbase and then sell out of Coinbase.
right.
That's kind of what you're looking at right now. But I think in the end, it's going to be a lot more difficult than that.
Yep.
And hopefully there is a system in place that is helpful, because a lot of people don't track every individual buy and sell and, all that stuff. So,
well, and the fluctuations between every one of them, I mean, it's insane.
Right.
So yeah, I did post a thing called Zen Ledger. I don't know. Do your own research and see. And obviously, we're just kind of shooting the shit. I'm not a tax guy. I don't know. I've just talked to some people and I have some experience in the space. But I mean, I don't know. Talk to your tax guy and do what's right for you.
Yeah, try and find somebody that has a little bit of experience. We kind of lucked out. We have one that that's in town that she did ours last year and doing it again this year, and didn't seem to phase her. When I said, oh, we do crypto, she was just like, okay, and it's worked out. But definitely find somebody that knows a little bit about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we talked. We may have to make this a short one today. How are you on time?
We have about another 15 minutes. Do you want to talk about the POS and the other forms of, I guess, payment real quick? It shouldn't take too long. I know we were going to talk about it last week. We had some questions, not this past week, but the week before, about, someone was posting some articles about another project card that's coming out, and I'll pull it up. And I got the Binance card, the Coinbase card, and then the SATA card that's coming out. And they're all pretty similar as far as how they operate, but it's completely different from what we're doing, right? These, I know I sent you the SATA card. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but just a quick rundown. I'll kind of explain how these work, and then you can kind of roll into the POS system, and we'll do a 10-minute talk about this, and then we'll kind of end it with some questions. But so the way these cards work, and I'll share my screen. So like the Coinbase card, and I know a few people that use them. You load these cards, and then you get rewards for everyday purchases that you buy in crypto. Okay, and so you're not loading Para onto it and using Para to buy stuff. You're loading whatever token you pick to use, and then you pick whatever you want to get rewards back, right? And the SATA card, there's different ones. These you actually buy, and then they charge you like almost 3.5% to 4% to top them off, to load them, and then you use it. So again, and Cameron will talk about POS, but it's totally different. And go on here, you can see top up fee 4%, minimum 20, daily spend 25,000. So, and you're buying these for $149 for this one. Binance card, it's pretty much the same thing, right? So you guys can check these out, but it's come up a few times. I just kind of wanted us to kind of tell people how these work, and then how our POS system works.
Yeah. And I know like Ledger is coming out with a card. I think it's out in, it might be out in the European Union. It's not out in the US yet or anything like that. But yeah, it's not the same thing. And the reason why, I mean, the main reason why is because it's a Visa card. It's a prepaid Visa card. Yeah. So, I don't hate it. And to be honest, we are going down a route where we hope we work with Visa. I'll just leave it at that. Now, it's not a promise. We're just we're trying to, right?
Well, it's hopeful. It's saying, yeah. You're saying we're hoping,
Yeah, we're trying to. But the thing is we wouldn't want to do it the way that these people are doing it. There's no need to. So no, our card is so here's the trade-off. The trade-off is this. You can either just hop onto Visa's network, which is huge, right? Obviously everyone knows about Visa and visas are accepted everywhere and all of that. They've created this validation chain, right? Validation network. With us, we're creating essentially our own network. So it's, we would love to work with Visa to merge these together and have that spendability and work on their network. But no, I mean, they don't really, they don't have an option other than to prepay it. So you take your crypto, you sell your crypto, you turn it into dollars, and then you spend your dollars. I haven't seen anything the other way. SATA may be doing it differently. Their flaw, I'm really, really skeptical. I'm telling you guys, well, okay. how do I say this without creating a firestorm?
I was gonna say, gotta be careful.
I know this industry. I understand how this would work. I think I understand just by looking at it and the fees that they're charging, what they're trying to do. It's a gamble. It's a gamble. I wouldn't do it. Just that's it. I don't even think that's, I mean, it may be a cash grab, but I don't even think it's a cash grab. I think that you know why? Because it's gas.
Yeah,
it's gas. The 4% top off, the 20%, the $150 card, all of that.
Yep.
It's gas, in my opinion, and that is that's worrisome for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, anytime there's a bunch of different fees involved to use something, it's always a red flag for me. So plus I that's not exactly how I want to do it either.
Right.
I want to be able to spend my crypto in a different way, and that's not how I want to do it. So that's just our personal opinions.
Yeah, we're when you're using our system, okay, so there may be one or two exceptions, okay, because we're trying to figure it out, and there's a couple of coins, Bitcoin, that's really not friendly to use, okay. But let's just say the majority of these coins, you're not going to have any fees, zero fees, no top off fee, no I mean, like no fee whatsoever. Now, yeah, there's things that we're still trying to work out, so I won't get into them too much. But yeah, it's I mean, you're not buying a prepaid card with Para. You're taking crypto, you're putting into your Para account, you're saying what you want to spend, and you spend it. Now, if we can work with Visa or we can work with some of these other networks to expand, the validation network to work, somewhere else, like that'd be great. And that's what we're trying to do that, right?
Yeah.
But we're also creating our own network. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you can spend crypto and it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah. Excuse me. And you're not buying the app or a card. And like Cameron said, I mean, that's the biggest thing about it is and the goal of it was the fees part of it. There's so many fees involved with doing this or doing that in crypto, and trying to eliminate or shrink those fees as little as possible. We said before, competing with the percentages of payment processors out there now or beating them would be obviously the goal. Is huge to bring payment in crypto, but also beating or competing with the already payment processors that are out there now. I mean, that to me is huge.
Oh, I think you
Did you lose me?
You froze for a second. Okay, say that last sentence.
I think that part of the whole thing is, just bringing the crypto to people and mitigating all those fees, and and also not jumping through hoops to do it either.
Right.
Like we said, crypto's tough enough that there's 4 steps and you get to the 3rd step and people are like, I don't, this is too hard. Want to make it easier for people to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and just a banker's question right here. When I say no fees, I'm saying for you, being the consumer, the user of the card. There's payment processing fees like Visa or Discover Card or MasterCard. They all have their own payment processing fee, which somewhere between 2, 3, 4% plus a flat rate charge on top of it. So that still exists, but we're able to be really competitive on it. But no, what we're talking about is if you want to, spend your crypto, we're not charging you to spend your crypto. We're just charging the merchant, the vendor, the person receiving the payment, a small percentage. And oftentimes, I mean, what it looks like is it's going to be a lot smaller than what Visa charges.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty amazing. Now, I think the only one exception, because we really can't get away with it, and I'll provide more information. It may be a little bit early to release this, but like something with like Bitcoin, because of how we have to track everything, there may be like $1 deposit fee or something like that, and there's no way for us to get around it. But that's just the nature of Bitcoin itself. But you want to do Ethereum, you want to do Shiba or Para, whatever, like there's not going to be a fee to do any of that. So yeah, and then so you go and you take your card, you take your whatever, and you pay. You can buy a Coca-Cola or whatever at the store, and it's just a normal transaction. You're spending crypto same as cash.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people want. It's like we've talked about before. People are like, well, if I buy all this crypto, then I can't use it. But now if you can, it also becomes an investment and a way for you to successfully spend it somewhere.
Right. Well, it becomes a currency, and then I wonder if it's really going to be seen as a security or as an investment, because I don't know that money. I guess I could be wrong, but look, the U.S. dollar, it fluctuates in its buying power. Right now, we're seeing that the dollar is buying. It takes more dollars to buy the same thing, right?
Yeah.
That's why eggs are $8 or whatever it is, right? I mean the other factors, but if it cost $1 to buy a dozen eggs, well, now it costs $8 to buy a dozen eggs. So there's a fluctuation in the buying power of currencies too. So yeah, I wonder if cryptocurrencies would start to be treated as such and not fall under so much of a security. And I could be wrong. Maybe a currency is a security. I guess I don't really know.
I don't think anybody knows. That's the biggest question.
Facts right there. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this would be the most interesting beer I probably would ever have, Banker, is if we sat down and had a beer with you. I think that would be, I think it would need to be more than one, I think.
I think that's a good start right there, sitting down and having a beer, but I'll tell you, I have no idea. Some people pretend that they do, and I think that's the issue.
Yeah, for sure. So Duper, can the Para payment app be linked to use existing wallets, or does crypto need to be moved?
Right. So with how things are being designed, you'll have to move whatever crypto you want to spend into your Para account. So it'll be a separate wallet and a separate account. So that's how that's being designed right now. Who knows what the future holds? But for right now, that's how we're doing it.
Yeah. Now, will you be able to store crypto in the app, or will you just be able to transfer it to use it, or can you say transfer $2,000 worth of ETH in there and just leave it in there to use? I mean, that's more or less to store it in there to use.
And that's the benefit, is that because you're spending your crypto and you're not right. Like if you take your ETH and you're going to spend it on crypto.com or whatever, like your prepaid card, you're taking that ETH, you're selling it, and then you're holding cash on your prepaid Visa card. That's how most of these are working. When you move Ethereum into your Para account, you're holding it in Ethereum. If Ethereum goes up, your buying power goes up. If Ethereum goes down, your buying power goes down. It's gonna fluctuate, just in and out and whatever. And who knows what we allow, build features into that. There's a lot of options as far as what features we can build into it in the future. But no, you're holding ETH, and then it's only when you go to pay does that then get sent to the merchant, right? Yeah, sold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So more or less you're putting it in there, and then you haven't sold anything yet. You're transferring, and then when you go to buy something, it sells it and sends it,
Yeah.
and then the rest of the transactions happen from there. So.
Yep. And then, I mean, of course, you can. It doesn't even have to be Ethereum. You can send stables in there if you want that price stability. You just want to hold it in USDC or something like that. Like that's an option option as well. But no, when you're holding Bitcoin, you're holding Ethereum, you're holding something else. It fluctuates in price. Yep.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, we're at about 45 minutes. So, does anybody have any more questions? Of course. Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it.
That's funny.
If hopefully you remember it after you've been drinking. That's the problem. I think most of us have, or some of us have, is you drink too much and you don't remember what you were talking about.
I've had some experiences like this, banker, where I thought I had an epiphany, and then I wrote it down and looked at it the next day, and what in the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, make sure the sober person's taking notes.
Yeah,
that's the thing. You gotta have one designated note taker who isn't drinking to take notes. Because if we're all drinking and we're taking notes, it's just not gonna work, right?
That's true.
Oh,
yeah, Valentine's Day is coming up, so do something for your wives. Don't forget it. Your boyfriends or girlfriends or any of that stuff. Make sure you make them feel special. I'm the absolute worst, so I got mine taken care of today. I was like, all right, I got to be ahead of it this time because I am the worst. So don't pull a Cameron. Get out there and get your significant other something.
Yep. And Super Bowl's tomorrow.
Yeah.
So go Chiefs.
Go Eagles. I was going to say good luck, but I just can't, my guy. Just cannot.
It'll be good. I have no prediction whatsoever. I really don't know what's going to happen. I think it all comes down to health of the teams, to be honest with you, who's healthy. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. I'm really looking forward to it. We're having a bunch of people over.
Yeah. I will say, though, I mean, if the Chiefs do win, it's going to be bittersweet because I sure love Andy Reid. He was our head coach for a while. But yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think the new era of football has officially started, with all these young quarterbacks coming in, and this isn't going to be the last time the Eagles are there. I don't think it's the last time Chiefs are going to be there. It's going to be a lot of good football coming up in the next 5 to 10 years. So no matter what happens, you're going to see these teams back in there again.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. Changing of the guards.
Bacon roses.
Bacon roses. Hey, banker. You're welcome to bring me bacon roses anytime.
I'll take bacon anything, just about.
Yeah.
Will this coming bar meet be an open invite? Man, I think that would be fun if we could do a meet somewhere, whoever can make it, and we're all scattered just about everywhere, I think. So I think it'd be fun to get together, and even you could do a couple smaller ones, do a couple different meets, but I think that would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do an event because I was one of the big things I've been working on, real quick, just to wrap it up, is there's licensing and bonds and stuff like that for each individual state. It's not something where you can just like, oh, we're now a payment processor. We have it on the federal level, great step, but now we got to go state by state, and price tags are big and whatever. So we'll probably do it one state at a time. So it might be cool as we open up a state to find a central area and go do an event there.
Yeah, for sure. That would be fun.
Together. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We can do 50 of them.
Yeah, 50 of them. We'd be traveling, be on the road for 3 years.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, we should definitely, events would be good because then you can you just get somewhere like a ballroom or something, where you have hundreds of people all in the same room. And I think that would be fun. Yeah,
that'd be great. Well, we'll keep it on the we'll do a para party. We'll keep it on the front of our minds as we go in and start opening up states.
Yeah, absolutely. And we obviously want to get past certain utilities and things that are being developed and then released, and free up some of Lee's mind, so he can participate as well. So I vote 50 of them. We're gonna be busy. It's gonna be a busy time. So
sounds great.
All right, guys. Well, if nobody else has any questions, if you do, don't hesitate to message me, Rad, Cameron, any of us, and we'll answer it to the best of our ability. We're always in Telegram also. And then Rad and I will be on the huddle on Wednesday. I don't know if Cameron will be there or not, but we'll be there. We'll just be chatting. And then I believe the week after that, we'll have Leon the 22nd on the huddle. And we'll get some stuff from him and see where they are with everything. And we'll go from there. But
we'll do the big update show on the 22nd. So last Wednesdays of the month, we're doing the Para kind of month in review recap.
Yep.
So, all right, Alex, thanks, man. Have a great weekend. Enjoy watching the Super Bowl, and thanks everyone watching. Hope you have a good
Thanks,
weekend.
Cameron, and thanks everybody, MG, Banker, Duper, all you guys. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you guys Wednesday on the huddle. Have a great weekend, everybody.